Yeah.
Hey, good day, good evening, everybody. Hopefully, everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. I have the lovely Shateka. Hey, bringing her back again right now. Isn't what she's gonna do is, you know what? Let me tell you. Let me tell you a little story. It's like how you first stumble upon a person. You stumble upon a person by social media. Social media can be a blessing, it can be a curse. But when you stumble on somebody and the energy, it's like she had this magnet about herself, watching her coming from the military, watching her establish a career as far as Walmart as a black woman. Went into basically a predominant all man, like I'm saying, environment. And you know what? She took heed. She grabbed that bull by the horn and she said, you know what? Nothing gonna stop me. So not only that, she left from Walmart making good money. But she said she wasn't happy. She wasn't satisfied. She took her talent, like LeBron James, to the South Beach. She took her talent to be more careful, Baltimore. Sit back and think about that. But yet, in still regards, what she had a hell of an opportunity out there. Because when you're good at what you do, people gonna recruit you. That's the different objective is if you got somebody good on your team, don't never let them hit the free agent market. So even with that said, is right now she went to Amazon, and right now is Rocket there, and then she decided to do something. Saying go out on faith. How many of us going to do that? How many of us going to give up our W-2, a short thing, to going out into the wilderness, not knowing what you might be getting yourself into? So here it is, no further. Queen Shateka, take it from there, girl.
Take it from there. Wow. Well, thank you for the introduction, I guess. That's what that was, an introduction?
Wow.
I,
I
I
gotta,
appreciate that.
okay.
Well, listen, I mean, everyone that you're watching here tonight, he's right. I mean, I really did start out with the as a W-2, so I definitely understand, what it is to do, employee roles, right? So as a executive with Walmart, as he mentioned, and then with Amazon, after the military was basically where I started. So my goal was really to, climb the corporate ladder. I was that girl. And I decided I wanted to do more. I knew that there was more to life than just, getting up every day and punching the clock, so to speak, even though it was salary. I knew there was more to life than that. And I got tired of the routine. And especially when you get your staff to a space where they can really run the show without you, they're operating at that level. It becomes boring after a while.
Hmm.
It's like very monotonous. So I was like, what else could I do? Long story made short, I went on this journey that kind of, led me to helping people do the same thing that I did, which is take the big leap. And as someone who has made several transitions from Army officer to corporate executive and now business owner, my goal was to help other people do the same, to move from career to calling so that they can have a more fulfilled, more powerful life, one that they would have energy to wake up and want to go to work in every day versus I don't want to go to work on a Monday. Literally every day can be the weekend, working for themselves. I'm not going to say it's all gravy, being a business owner by no means. There is going to be still that work that you got to put in. But my goal was to get people to literally, not working for someone else, but working for themselves, ideally, and then also building a legacy. And in doing so, I realized so many people didn't have the money. They couldn't afford the services to be able to pay for the development so that they can do those types of things. And that's when I realized there was an epidemic. Like people don't have money. Like people that do have money don't have money. So people that make six figures doesn't mean they have money. People that make millions of dollars doesn't mean that they have money. It's about how well you manage the money that you have, how much can you keep, and how do you position that money to be able to make money for you while you sleep. Just like Warren Buffett has stated, right? Unless you figure a way to make money while you sleep, you will work for money all the days of your life. It is so true. So you have to figure a way for residual income, passive income, and everybody almost now understand that, right? Everybody almost now understand exactly what Robert Kiyosaki said in his book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, which says you have to move from the left side of the quadrant to the right side of the quadrant. He said 95% of people, as a billionaire himself, has said that 95% of people are on the wrong side of money. Why? Because they're working for money. They're trading time for dollars. And eventually, they're going to burn out. They won't be able to do it. The list goes on, right? So the left side of the quadrant is either you're working on a W-2 or you have your own business and you're self-employed. You're still working for even your money, right? You want to get to the right side of the quadrant where you are either a business owner or an investor. Only 5% of people are there and they own most of the money out there now, all these billionaires and millionaires, right? They either are a business owner, having other people work in their business, not them working in their business, or they are an investor. This is different from self-employed. So those two spaces is where people are trying to move to, right? And so in doing so, they get to win in wealth. So this whole thing is about how do we win in wealth, right? How do we win in wealth and use wisdom? And the most concise, advice I can give people is how much money are you saving? It doesn't matter if you make 6 or 7 figures if you are in debt to 6 and 7 figures and you are spending that amount of money. How much money can you keep? So you have to realize taxes is one of the number one debts people have that nobody really pays attention to, right? A lot of people don't, or they understand, or some people get excited they get a refund. That's not good enough. That means you spent too much money all year long that you could have been investing if you're getting a refund. You should not be excited about getting a refund, right? So it's how can I switch up even my W-4, right? Like how can I change my exemptions to be able to make sure that I am not paying that much throughout the year, right? So that I can now reposition those funds and be able to make money all year long, right? And I'd rather you owe at the end because you've been making all this money all year long, which is going to be significantly higher than what you would have to pay anyway, right? Okay. How do you do that? And so taxes is one of the number one most fundamental ways that people can really do that. But also, how do you live below your means? Let's stop talking about these liabilities. How can we get more assets? Live below your means so you can get more assets and not liabilities. Less cars, less clothes, less jewelry, less entertainment, less all of that, like these liability things that you got to go on your credit card and have to fund because you really don't have it, but you're flogging, right? Like you out here showboating, as they say, you're shining, right? But you really don't have it. How can you reposition those dollars and put those into investments or inside some type of policy or something that's going to really be able to let you see your money make money for you while you sleep and compound your money, right? How do you do that? So you can do that through investing. Remember, we talked about going to the right side of the quadrant, being an investor, or you can do that by starting your business and not necessarily working in the business, but running the business, because you may still be on your W-2, but you got a little small business over here that somebody else is literally working for you, right? Just like you're working for someone else as a W-2. So I really just wanted to talk a little bit about that tonight because there has to be a mindset shift, especially for 2022, if you're not already there. If you're really trying to reposition your money so that your money can work for you while you're sleeping. And there's so many ways that you can do that, right? So I mean, ask this question. Everyone wants to have this, money while you're sleeping and definitely want to get that retirement account going. But most people are only familiar with an employer type plan, like a 401k or a 403b or, a 457, IRA, TSP, the list goes on. Those are employer plans, and those are also known as tax codes. Remember, we talked about taxes earlier. Those are tax codes. However you want to look at it, if you go and look it up, those are actually tax codes, right? That means that they will benefit the government. That means that you will pay taxes on all those types of plans. But what if there's a way that you could take and reposition your money to stop paying taxes and literally be winning wealth by making sure that you have tax-free income in terms of the money that you put into your account, right? The money that grows is now tax-free instead of you having to pay taxes later on. Because if I was to show you a chart, which I do in presentations all the time, you would see that the highest space that we were in taxes was 94%. We're not there yet. We don't know when we're going to get there, but we know that we are in one of the lowest tax, spaces that we have been in some years. So to get in front of that, the wealthy are repositioning their funds to make sure that they don't pay taxes in the future. So their money is being positioned in retirement accounts that's going to make sure that they have tax-free income in the future. So if you were to go to research IRS code 7702, I only like to give facts. Everything I'm telling you tonight, these aren't opinions. Okay, let's be clear. These are facts. IRS code 7702, because I know a lot of you like to Google. It'll tell you that only certain types of accounts you can put your money in to where it will grow tax-free. And oh, by the way, not only are those employer plans tax codes, but they're very limited and you don't get to control them. But with a tax-free retirement account, you get to control it. And the limits are high. The limits are called MEC limits, MEC, Modified Endowment Contract Limits, meaning that they're not going to be just your minimum $5,000 to $6,000 a year, depending on your age. They're going to be higher based on what we call the benefit, the death benefit on those accounts, right? Because they all have death benefits, right? So, but they also come with other benefits that your employer plan does not have. If I was to ask you, does your employer plan allow you the opportunity to be able to take out and pay any medical expenses that you have in retirement? You would tell me no, right? So if you become chronically, critically, or terminally ill or chronically injured, heart attack, cancer, stroke, dementia, long-term care, does your employer plan pay for that? Some of you may say yes. Most of you are going to say no. Most of you are going to say no. And does it come with a death benefit for legacy building as well? Legacy building for your children or maybe your children's children. Do they come with that attached to it? If you were to go into a lawsuit, creditors, whomever, coming for your money, somebody sues you, is your money protected? Does your employer plan do that? How about market volatility? We know that these accounts are going up and down all over the world, right? Like they're on a roller coaster. People are losing money in their employer plans. They are gaining money in their employer plans, but for the most part, a lot of them are losing. Can you minimize the risk with your employer plans? You can't. I mean, you really don't have a whole lot of control over that, right? And what if I was to ask you about the fees? 30 to 50% higher fees are in the employer plans. And just to be more specific, the 401k, if you were to go to the Department of Labor handbook, it's going to tell you all of these fees that you're paying just in the 401k alone, right? So the fees, between the fees and the taxes, that hard-earned money that you're working for every day is being eaten up like termites for your retirement account, right? Although it's growing on the paper, to the visual eye, this is what we call underwater expenses that you don't really understand or know until you deep dive into it and you do your research. So I just wanted to bring the facts. The facts is that they are higher in fees, they are higher in taxes. They do not come with any protection from market volatility. They do not come with any protection from lawsuits. You don't get a death benefit with them. Why are you paying into those? Because an employer match. But what if you're in a 17% tax bracket and your employer is only paying 3%? There's still a 14% tax that you're paying on that, right? When you can literally start off by putting your money in something that's going to be tax-free instead of having to eventually pay 14% taxes. There's platforms and softwares out there that will show you how you are going to be like the average person in their early 70s that run out of money because they put their money into employer plans because they were expecting it to pay. Once that money's gone, it's gone. But in a tax-free retirement account, it is forever income. It's built like a Social Security account. It pays you forever. Is it going to be a significant amount? It depends on how much you can pay into it. So if you put in little, you're going to get out little. It's the same as what you're doing with the 401k, but it's just that it's going to be set up like an annuity. An annuity is Social Security. Social Security is an annuity, but it's funded by the government. Tax-free retirement accounts do the same thing as a Social Security. They pay you forever, but they're tax-free as well. They come with all these other benefits that Social Security doesn't have and all these other benefits that your employer plan does not have. That's what we're talking about tonight. So understanding, moving from the left side of the quadrant to the right side of the quadrant is the first thing. But beyond that, we have to understand how to reposition our money so that our money works for us while we're sleeping, compounding with all the benefits that we need to have. Because the wealthy they're already a step ahead. They already understand this. And so when we educate ourselves, reading books like The Power of Zero, written by David McKnight, it'll educate you on how to reposition your money so that you can have a tax-free retirement. So, Brian, what questions do you have? I knew we were going to be short. We're not going to be long tonight. We're going to be strong because Mr. Brian here is not feeling all that well, even though he may look well.
Wow. Hey, listen, thank you.
So we want you to feel better. We want you to get some rest tonight, but we want to be consistent and come on here and make sure we deliver to the people like we said we would and be here on Wednesday evening. So, Brian, are there anything in the chat, any questions you have?
No, it's not. You know what? Like right now, to me, like I say, even with this, like winning in wealth, you know what I'm saying, on Wisdom Wednesday, you know what I'm saying? It's like deep. Why it's deep? Because once again, I want to be able to have a platform that these folks can actually get involved, like understanding. Because don't get me wrong, I'm listening to you. And right now, I done dibble and dabble in the market with the 401k plan, with investing, buying stock, sharing stock, or whatever. I just bought some today. But in the same tokens, a lot of stuff that you're saying like kind of went over my head. So the difference is right now is sometimes we got to go backwards. Like, because once again, everybody's on, different levels in life. And I'm not going to sit here. If I don't know something, I'm like, yo, queen, slow down. I don't know about this. What about this? What about that? And don't get me wrong, because once again, you are a great, I'm saying, as far as advisor, great teacher. The bottom line, like, to me, I love, because you could have been in that industry, because you can teach your word, your energy. And not only that, you show me different things so I can have a crystal clear picture. And that's what I want to give these audience, even as we talk about different things. I want them to understand, like, feel free to ask any question, and whatever we can do. The platform is about help us to help you. That's what the platform is about.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I want to keep breaking it down as much as we have to break it down, right? Just to understand. And we do have some PowerPoints. Tonight, I know we don't have the time to do that. I want to be able to show you a lot of different things that's going to really make it all make sense for you. In the weeks to come, I have quite a few different presentations that we can bring to this platform to be able to show people little bits and pieces here and there. What's the foundations? Like, what are the 6 steps to financial freedom, right? Really speaking to that. What are the 4-step financial cornerstones that they need to understand so that they can make sure that they understand how money works? When you understand how money works, you keep more of it. Because again, it's not about how much you make. Trust and believe that it's not about how much you make. It's about how much can you keep, and then how can you reposition that money to make more money for you, right? So what questions do you guys have out here? What's the real with crypto in your humble opinion, man? Crypto is the way of the future. And if you don't have crypto, you are way behind already. But you got to have your money in the right crypto. And let me put this disclaimer out here. This is not to be confused with financial advice. So let me put that disclaimer out there. All right. So everything that I'm saying tonight, none of it is to be confused with financial advice. I'm not giving anyone financial advice. What I am doing is educate, empowering with facts on things that I know to be true. And I'm giving you references like go to these books and read it. Go to, Google and Google if you're a Google person. But I just want to be clear about that. So, don't come for me. All right. So either way, crypto is the way of the future. Some people ask all the time, should my retirement account be in crypto? Your retirement account needs to be a solid, steady, plan, comprehensive plan, looking at all that you own, right? No one can give you advice not knowing what your debt is, not knowing what your assets are, right? And not knowing what your vision, right? I can't sit here and tell you and do a consultation over a live on YouTube what people need to do, because everybody's situation is different, right? And some people's risk tolerance is more than others. I have a very high risk tolerance, so I would never tell people to do what I do. Like, crypto for some people is really risky, and you can lose money in crypto. Let me be clear about it, right? But you can make a whole lot of money, right? So it's easy, as fast as you can make the money, you can lose the money. But the reason why I say crypto is the way of the future, because so many facts out there to include things like crypto ATMs are out here. Several banks have already started to accept crypto. Several merchants have began to accept crypto. Wow. Crypto is on Cash App and different, it's everywhere. You can purchase things with crypto, right? When I say crypto, I'm talking about Bitcoin, to be more specific. So, Chase Morgan and different banks like that, they're already starting to do crypto. So when the banks stop moving it, you want to be where the banks are moving. If you're a trader, you want to trade on a bank time, the 4-hour timeline, right? If you're a trader. I know about all those types of things. But at the end of the day, you want to do what the banks are doing, because the bank's not going to lose money. Insurance companies are not going to lose money. So you want to be somewhere where the insurance companies and the banks are. The bank's going to FDIC insure your money up to $250,000. The insurance company's going to go beyond that. They don't have the FDIC, but I promise you that all banks put their money into insurance. Billionaires put their money into insurance. They park their money into insurance. As insurance brokers, we have to study money laundering. It's called anti-money laundering, because there's so much money laundering in insurance. That's where the money is. So it's safe haven for most people. You don't lose money when you have your money in certain types of insurance products, because when the market goes up, you get to participate in. When the market goes down, you don't. So a lot of the billionaires are parking their money right there, because they know that they can't lose money. And what is Warren Buffett's rule number 1 and number 2? Don't lose money. So that's why billionaires put their money in insurance products, right? That's why banks are doing it. That's why all these companies you hear that don't pay taxes, and you hear about Disney World. Disney World. How did he fund his whole company, right? In terms of his employees and paying the employees, because he had an insurance policy. So the question about crypto is, if you are a risk taker and you have money to lose, put your money in crypto, right?
We got
That's
money
my
to
advice.
lose.
That's what I'm doing. That's what Shateka's doing. Now, would I tell you to do your retirement account in crypto? Absolutely not. Why would you do that? Because you could lose all your retirement, right? So you need to have a proportion of your money based on your risk tolerance and risk level into certain types of accounts. Maybe you do 75% in insurance and 25% in crypto. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you, you need to figure out what that looks like for you in terms of your risk tolerance. And, the fact of the matter is that because all these banks are putting their monies and doing business with Bitcoin, we know that's be one of the ways of the future. I'm just saying Bitcoin, but there's quite a few others out there, right? Like Ethereum, Polkadot, some other very popular ones out there. But you have to do your own due diligence, do your own research, right? I am a part of an academy that teaches you a lot about crypto for the people that are interested in that. And you can learn, literally see what's going to happen based on trend analysis in those spaces, right? And it teaches you those types of things as well. So that's how I was able to learn a lot about crypto, and that's why I began to trade it more so than buy it, because when you trade it, you can make money when it falls. You already know it's going to fall. I knew when Bitcoin was going to fall. The last 3 times it fell, and immediately took my money out at the height and made my money, and then get right back in at the low. You buy low, you sell high, right? Just like real estate. Same thing I did with, with real estate. 2021, sold a couple properties. Why? Because it was high, and I knew I was going to make my money back and then some. Why did I do that? Because they were problem properties, and I want to get rid of them. Okay. So you have to understand trend analysis and make decisions around that. Educate yourself, and that's the number one thing I would tell anybody. To understand how money works, you're going to have to do a lot of reading. I do a lot of Audible myself personally, on a lot of different levels, on a lot of different books around money, because I want to understand how money works more and more and more. And you can never learn enough, it seems like, about different spaces. So great question. But retirement is going to be something that you want to make sure that you have a solid plan based on how much money do you want to receive in retirement? We talk about this all the time. Do you want $100,000 a year in retirement, or do you want $50,000 a year in retirement? What does that number look like? That number looks like 80% of whatever you are making right now times 20 years. Easy math. If you make 6 figures, $100,000 a year, 80% of that is $80,000 a year. 20 years mean you need $1.6 million. Do you have $1.6 million? Then you need to try to be figuring that out, or else you'll be always working on all the days of your life, because you don't have $1.6 million to be able to live off for 20 years. That's the average time for retirement. You might be retired for 40 years, and you need that much more. So that's how much more you would have to save. So 80% of what your required salary is times the amount of years you're going to be in retirement, right? What other questions are out there?
I'm looking at a comment by Alvin John. He said we need to teach our children from at a very young age the value of a dollar, credit, and financial literacy versus teaching them about Jordan, Gucci, Louis Vuitton. Somebody else came along, good one. Somebody else came along as far as ask you about NTFPs. Can you speak about NFT? Blessing, Brian and Shateka.
Yes, non-fungible tokens. So non-fungible tokens. That's kind of a new thing, and I'm trying to figure it out myself still. I'm seeing it a lot. I'm hearing it a lot, primarily in some spaces that I'm in. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a guru on that just yet. I do know that if you are one that are into, artists and, what they have to offer in terms of, their different types of creative items that they're going to create, I'd rather be an album, CD, art or whatever, you're into those types of things, then NFTs might be for you. It might be a way to go. But yes, for some of that, it's going to be very lucrative. But nobody knows what that's going to look like, because it's super brand new, right? Like it's really new in the space. Actually, people are really starting to talk about it more so now. 2017 is kind of like when it started. People started really looking at that, but now it's becoming more mainstream as of 2021. But you just gonna have to do more research, because Shateka knows very limited about it. I do know that it's one where it's a risk. It's going to be a risk. It's like crypto. Crypto was new. Nobody got on board, and they would have. So the same thing with NFTs. If you need to get into it now, Now is the time to get into it because now is becoming mainstream 2021 more so than any other year. And so, yes, you want to start looking at which artists you want to be a part of or which NFTs you want to participate in. I haven't started participating in NFTs myself personally yet. I have enough crypto, real estate, other types of investment stocks and things of that nature that I feel a little more safe with because they've been around for a while and I understand the trend analysis. I took a couple of years to learn trend analysis when it comes to trading. So I do a lot of my personal trades based on trend analysis. So I know when to get in and get out of markets. But when it comes to NFTs, there is no trend analysis. So it's a little more risky for me personally. So great question. It is something to definitely deep dive into because people are already starting to move into that space. But the average person don't know anything about it. So
JK came along and say, Glaze, you on mute? No, JK, I'm not on mute. Hey, Professor, how you doing, man? Great work, Glaze and Shateka, blessing and love. T_Rivers want to know, I retire in 4 months. So again, how can I live a tax-free retirement?
Okay, I'm a little distracted. Hold that question. I saw this person talking about money laundering schemes and NFTs. Be careful. I have to address that because when Bitcoin came out, and even back in 2017 when I started doing Bitcoin, I was looking for Bitcoin because I participated in something called Bit Connect, and I made money off it in the beginning, but then it went under because, to your point, it was a Ponzi scheme. So, great point to bring out. You got to be careful. You should only be investing with money that you can afford to lose and hoping for the best. Only invest if you don't know what you're doing and you're not using a financial advisor. Only invest with money you can afford to lose, but expect the best, right? So, like again, in the beginning, I made a lot with the Bitcoin, but because it was a Ponzi scheme that I wasn't aware of, it later failed, and a lot of people lost money, right? So understand that there's something out here right now that I thought I was going to say that is giving people 0.005% per day, and it's supposed to be legit, and it's been around for over 10 years. And for some reason, my bank won't let me, send money to them. Might be a red flag, I don't know, but people have been making money for over 10 years in that particular type of fund. So it's very lucrative. So if you think about it, 0.005% per day. But who knows what that could falter, right? That could be a Ponzi scheme, but right now it's starting off really strong for the last 10 years. But who knows when so I would never tell somebody, go look at this, and then something happens and Shateka, this thing took my money, So I love what you said. Is going down a comment by a New York NYC talk. I think it was maybe 7. I don't know. The comments went up, but that's a great point. But go back to your question, Brian. I'm sorry. I just need to pause that.
T_Rivers, I am retiring in 4 months. So again, how can he live a tax-free retirement?
Yeah. So tax-free retirement accounts are usually started like at least, 12 years out. On average.
But he still got a chance. He got 4 months left.
You got 4 months left, but unless you got some big dollars to put inside there and let it sit for your retirement, I'm just gonna assume you're about 64, going on 65, and you're gonna retire at 65, and you want 4 months of returns. Yeah. I don't know how much money you can make in 4 months on any amount of money, just to be realistic and honest, to give you a lifetime tax-free retirement. We talk about a lifetime. We talk about for the next 20 years, you're going to get tax-free income. And so for 4 months, we can look at what those numbers look like, but you're not gonna be happy about it. I see people that want to start 5 and 10 years out and they're not happy about the money. But listen, you're already 50 years old or 45 or whatever. You only want to put $3,000 a month and you want lifetime tax-free retirement income. We got to be realistic. So I do consultations all the time, but I'm gonna show it to you, then you'll be disappointed because you waited too late and you only have so much money to start. I don't mind showing it to you, but I don't want you to feel like you're gonna get lifetime tax-free retirement income for the rest of your life, and you only started 4 months ago. So I just want to be realistic.
And he's 49.
49. So yeah, you guys, depending on when you're trying to retire. Some people want to retire at 72. Some people want to retire at 65. I can show you what your number at 65 look like, and I can show you what your number at 72 gonna look like, based on how much money you put in will determine what your income is going to be. Does that make sense? Whoever asked that?
Yeah, T_Rivers. Yeah.
So yeah, it depends on the number, the age that you're trying to retire, and there's literally some different charts that I can show you how much income you're going to have in retirement based on how much money you can put per month. Some people can put $2,000 a month. Some people can put $500 a month.
What's wrong?
I heard him. So what other questions?
What y'all got, y'all? You know, right now we open up to the floor.
Yeah, we're done. I mean, I was done 15 minutes ago, but I wanted to make sure that we answer questions.
Somebody, what he say? Trying to help you out, bro. Otherwise, you will get away.
I saw
that. hey, listen, JK. My aunt told me that. My aunt told me a while. She said, "Oh man, yeah, you met your match, man." Like, whoa. You know?
I don't talk that much. I just want to make sure I'm thorough as much as possible.
Hey, you don't want to be long.
No, it's not a 401k. It's a tax-free retirement account. So the 401k, I can show you numbers where you're going to run out of money in a 401k in your early 70s. I don't care. Almost everybody, 90-something% of people, 99% or more, will run out of money in their early 70s with a 401k because of the taxes and the fees that people don't realize. The fees are like 30 to 50% higher. That's why I told you to go to the Department of Labor handbook and see. They even talk about it there. But I can show you all kind of videos of prominent people that you respect as saying these things, you know, and you can watch them. Tony Robbins is talking about it. Other people are saying it, that these are 401ks. The fees are incredible. You talk about underwater fees versus above water fees. Above water, they are required to tell you. Below water, they're not required to tell you. And that's all of those employer plans, right? They all have fees. Insurance has fees, but insurance is going to be significantly less than all those other employer plans, and they're going to be tax-free, right? Let's just face it. So a tax-free retirement account is going to be one that you would want to look at more so than those employer plans, because you want to not have to pay taxes in retirement. You do not want to pay taxes in retirement. You want tax-free income. And you want that money to last you forever. You don't want to have to run out of money in your early 70s, right? And not even have any type of legacy or any type of protection or anything, right? So there's no protection from market volatility. There's no protection from lawsuits. You don't get no death benefit. And you got to pay all those taxes. I know I sound redundant, but I just want to keep driving those points because I want to make sure that you understand that that I had a 401k, okay? I turned it into a solo 401k when I got out and bought some properties with it. So that's what solo 401ks do for you. You can buy properties, right? You control the money. 401ks, you don't get control the money, but you can control the money when you turn it into a solo 401k, even when you are young, like 30-something years old. So that's why people, if you want full control of your money, you leave that employer and you take that 401k, you turn it into a solo 401k, and now you can be able to have full control of your money by investing it into real estate. So once I learned that, it was over with. And that's how I was able to leave corporate, because I had properties. I became a multi-property owner and had, I was a landlord and was able to do that. So, that's one strategy. There's a lot of different strategies out there. I can tell you the benefits, the pros and cons of all of them. The 401k was great because I was looking at my employer match, but what I did not understand is all of the taxes I'm gonna have to end up paying for that if I keep it and don't necessarily dissolve it now and pay taxes now. So what the billionaires are doing is they're paying, or not even billionaires, just people wanting to learn it. They pay the taxes, they bite the bullet, pay the taxes at the young age, because they just don't know what it's going to be later on. And then one of the reasons why they end up paying all these taxes. And guess what? You pay it twice. You pay it when you in retirement, whenever you start using that money, but you also when you die, probate, that money's taxed again, right? If you have any left over. If you have any left over by then, and most people don't. So,
hey, anybody that's out there that's listening or whatever, thank you for joining us. Winning in Wealth Wisdom Wednesday. To me, like right now, as you see the ticker down there, if you want to get in contact with Shateka, feel free. And right now is, guess what? She can walk you through some of these steps, because once again, it's a lot of things. What we want to do is it's all about, what the sense if you have knowledge, if you don't have the ability to share with nobody. That's senseless. So the difference is anytime you can get a powerful, positive individual to give back by any means necessary, that's what this is all about. So to me, like right now, you're gonna have a little bit of everything. Because once again, when I was out there, I wish, first of all, when I was young, I wish a lot of things I never participated in. But being that I did do it, imagine you have somebody, hey, look, what do I need to do? Because I want to get away from this thing. I'm already there. I'm already dirty, but I want to clean this up and get out of there. See, that's the difference. Because a lot of times it's like, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But that's why I tell people, do it right the first time.
All right. So yeah, it is US 401k, Billy. Let me go up to the top. I saw some IRAs is a type of employer plan as well. IRA versus 401k versus 457. They all are employer plans. They all are tax codes. Okay, so you're gonna have to pay taxes on. You can turn your IRA into one where you can make it tax free. It's called a Roth IRA, and you go ahead and pay the taxes on it and turn it into a Roth IRA. Or have it held there for at least 5 years and it becomes tax-free, those types of things. But it's a lot of different strategies you can do with that to make it tax-free, but it still doesn't have all of the benefits that a tax-free retirement account have. Somebody asked about how can I get a tax-free retirement account. I'm your point of contact for that if you want to get one. But there's a lot of ways you can get one just by going to any type of financial planner that understands how to do that. I'm a financial planner, retirement consultant, so I can help you with that. I'm licensed to do that. In 13 states. So it depends on the individual, how many licenses or where they license that, if they can help you or not. I get licensed to help certain people that are serious, but in certain states, but I'm licensed in 13 states to help people with tax-free retirement accounts. So, and I can refer out to beyond the 13 states, right? So I'm on a team of people that can help you in every state, all 50 states, right? So even if I can't help you in a certain state, somebody in your state can help you. Depending on where you are. But yes, this is US based, the tax-free retirement account that I'm talking about. So great questions out there. So Brian, I know we want to get you to allow you to get some rest.
Oh, man.
He's been on the road a
lot. Man, I had to take the show on the road. You're right. Hey, listen, Queen. Hey, it's always a pleasure. But the difference right now is, what we're going to do? What we're going to talk about next week? Let's even talk in existence now so we can be prepared. We can be better prepared. What are we going to talk about next Wednesday? That's what I want to know.
All right. Well, let's talk about the 6 steps to financial freedom. I think that most people will be interested in that. And, more people want to be free. They want to be financially free. And we can deep dive into that a little bit and whatever else. Because based on the questions, we can go anywhere with these conversations. But let's just talk about the 6 steps to financial freedom. And what that looks like. And you'll be surprised to know what the common denominator is for all 6 steps. So we're going to look at that next week.
Yeah. Hey, but like I said, everybody, listen, thank y'all for joining us. Right now is, guess what? Happy New Year's 2022.
Yes.
Right? 2022. You know what? Like I say, right now is, guess what? Let's count our blessing and let's go full speed. Like, let's come together next week. Let's build together. The objective is right now. Here it is. You see her information right there at the ticker. Get in contact. And you know what? She can help you. She helped me. So are you kidding me? Right now, great ball of fire. I like that. It's all about right now. Help me to help you. That's what it's all about.
Well,
hey,
listen.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, so our goal is to get on at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays, but things happen. So if we're not on by 7, we're on by 7:30, or we may have to do a pre-recorded show. This depends on how much energy and hype we get on these shows will determine if we will come back and so. But at the end of the day, every Wednesday, so Winning in Wealth, Wisdom Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Unless some things happen and we have to be a little bit late, is our goal to be on here. Okay. So yeah, sometimes, we have some challenges with the tech and we might be a couple minutes behind, but if you have the little bell on, it'll let you know. So go ahead and click the bell, go ahead and subscribe to Brian's channel. Go ahead and follow Brian. And so that way you can know when we're going live and bring your questions. And I'm gonna be honest, if I know it, I know it. If I don't, I don't. I am continuing to dig into the NFT a little bit more. I actually had in one of my rooms, because I host rooms weekly, a gentleman that was talking about NFTs, and even he still didn't know a lot about it. So we're gonna continue to dig into that, but I don't want anybody to be taken. So be careful out here because there's a lot of fraud. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. We're gonna go. even in moving, I want you to be careful in moving. Some of you might have to move to another state. You do not want to get taken by your money. Listen, I need y'all to go to the Better Business Bureau. Okay. Go to the Better Business Bureau and research these people out, because it is horrible out here in these streets with these people trying to take people money, taking the deposit for the move, and taking the people's 100% of their belongings, loading up a whole van, and people never see their stuff. They're crying, "Where's all my stuff?" It's a big business out here. They're selling people's loads of furniture, household goods. That's how wicked it is out here. So do the Better Business Bureau for as much as you can. You can't do that with NFTs. You just want to have to be careful. You don't know what's a Ponzi scheme out here. You just have to be careful. As smart as I am, I'm just kidding. I got taken after a few years with BitConnect. So, yeah.
Hey, listen, everybody. Listen, this is what I want y'all to do. Tell a friend so they can tell a friend. So the difference is right now, we're going to build this platform. We're going to make Wednesday, right now. Wednesday going to be on fire for us. Wednesday going to be on fire. You know what? So right now, it's next Wednesday going to be our first mini. Peace, love, and prosperity. Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year. Yes. I know, right? Y'all are kings and queens.